Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. We are joining you from Millersville University of Pennsylvania, and we're really excited to be here with you and give you some information about the opportunities at Millersville University. We are actually both alumni ourselves of Millersville, so we are really happy to share our experience as well as our experience working in the admissions office to help students apply. So my name is Smita Prabhu, and I graduated from Millersville University in 2008. And I will let my colleague here, Vivek, introduce himself.
Hi, my name is Vivek Patel. I am one of the assistant directors of admission, and yes, I'm an alumni. Graduated about 2 years ago, and I'll talk a little bit more about my experience probably at the end of the presentation about how much I love Millersville and things like that. We're going to start off with our first slide, which is this one right here. So, quick things about Millersville. We're one of 14 public universities in Pennsylvania. We have roughly about 8,500 students. 1,000 of them are graduate students pursuing their master's degrees, and the rest, the 7,500, are pursuing their Bachelor of Science or Bachelor of Arts degrees. With that student population, typically this typical class will be about 25 to 30 students in each class. The largest class that I had was about 40 students in that class, so it's a very, very personalized learning environment for students. The MU student body represents about 12 different states, so generally we get students from the eastern part of the United States, but we also do get students from western parts like California, Washington, and then we do have an international population that represents about 58 different countries. If you don't know much about the area about Millersville, we're in a convenient location, and we'll talk about that a little bit more about what major cities is near on the next slide. But for the area itself, we're right near Lancaster City. It's a beautiful city, has over 100,000 people in the city, and there's all kinds of things that students do in the city. There's concert venues, there's plays, there's all kinds of restaurants to go to, all kinds of shopping areas. It's a great area for students to go to all the time. Plus, there's an Amtrak train station, and at that Amtrak train station, you can go to New York if you want to, you can go to Philadelphia, you can go a bunch of different places just by hopping on the Amtrak train station. We're one of the safest universities in Pennsylvania. We're ranked 5th in Pennsylvania, but also we've gotten top safety awards, which are only awarded to about 25 schools in the entire country, making Millersville one of the safest campuses overall in the entire nation. And then Princeton Reviews put us on their Green College list. There's a lot of green initiatives that you'll see if you come to Millersville that we've done over the last couple of years. So as far as where our location is in the United States, you can see on this map that we're pretty close to Philadelphia, as well as we're a convenient location where you can actually be near four major cities. So Washington, D.C. is not too far away. It's about 2.5 hours, maybe a little bit less. And then we have Baltimore, which is within an hour and a half. Also, Philadelphia is within an hour and a half. And then New York City pretty much takes you about 2.5 to 3 hours as well. And so all those are major cities that are very close, and also students can take the train to get to those locations. You'll see most of our students, especially on the weekends, will take trips up to those cities, as well as Millersville has their own sponsored events, which if you don't want to hop on the train, we have bus services that will take students to New York City for the day, or Washington, D.C. for the day, or Philadelphia, and students are able to do multiple things while they're at the city, which is a really nice experience. So our school is broken down into 3 different schools. So we have the School of Science and Mathematics, which has a lot of top majors in there. The biology and chemistry programs, you're talking about when students are in those classes, they'll take some exams in those classes that are same exams that you'll find at some of the best other institutions in the world, like Princeton and Harvard. So our students are taking those tough exams, and it's helping them get into the top medical schools, top graduate programs they want to get into. Meteorology programs, one of the top programs in the nation. It's one of two schools in the country that allows students to do space weather as well, so it's a really world-renowned program as well. There's a lot of different things that we're doing in the math and science departments. Our mathematics department is fantastic. 100% of the faculty in the math and science department have their PhD, so they're all experts in their field, as well as they're full-time. That's actually very rare for a college to have, especially in the United States, and so we're actually fortunate here to have that support for our students. So after class, our students are able to talk to their professors and do well in their classes, and then they're able to get to know them so much, starting with their small class sizes. So if you want to do research projects, which I'll talk about in the next slide, it's a really easy opportunity. We also have the School of Humanities and Social Sciences that has a lot of top majors like psychology, business is a big one that we have here, communications. It has most of our majors in that department, and again, most of our faculty are full-time, so you have those availability of your faculty members to talk to after class. And then the School of Education, that's a huge program here at Millersville. We have one of the top education programs, not only in the state of Pennsylvania, but also one of the top in the country, actually. And I'll talk more about, in depth, about what we have here to offer. So overall, 97% of our faculty have a terminal degree in their field, which means they pretty much have their PhD or a PhD equivalent, like for business professors, they have MBAs, so you're taught by experts. You don't have teaching assistants. At most universities, you'll find is that they have teaching assistants. So it's someone that might have just graduated from college that is now teaching other students. We don't have that. So at Millersville, you're taught by expert faculty members starting day one when you're here at Millersville. It helps you, especially when you're talking about trying to get on board with those research projects, when you're trying to get letters of recommendation for graduate programs, stuff like that. You've had these professors for 3-4 years. You're able to learn from experts. It's the perfect learning environment for students that really want to go to a college where they really want to succeed and become the best to their ability. Millersville offers that learning environment, so you're able to do more than you would at most other universities. We're not a Research 1 university. Most universities are, so that means the faculty there might be tenured based on how many publishings they do. Millersville is all about the learning environment, the teaching environment. They have to be good at teaching, and here you'll find passionate professors that really care about the students, that really want to help them succeed and achieve their goals, and that's what they're dedicated to. But they still do the publishings and stuff like that. They create textbooks that other colleges are using. There's all kinds of cool things that our professors are doing, but their priority is to teach students here at Millersville. With that, you have undergraduate research projects. So we have about 1,000 master's students, but for the most part, because the way our university is set up, our faculty members, they are all getting sophomores, our juniors, involved in their undergraduate research projects. And there's a lot of government contracts that our professors have that help them with different projects. For instance, we have one with NASA, our space program, and about 10 to 14 students every year get to work with NASA scientists and a professor and do undergraduate research. And that's something that's very unique to our school, and there's all kinds of different opportunities that we have really all over the spectrum of different majors. Career services, they help students provide a 4-year career plan. There's resume critiques they do, so students are able to get the right resume in order to get the job they want or get the internship they want. There's mock interviews to help students with that. There's job fairs and internship fairs that they provide so that you can get, talk to employers and things like that at the fair. But again, we also have the faculty, the way that they're set up is to help our students get those internships they want, get those jobs that they want. They're helping them throughout their 4 years at Millersville, trying to help them with their careers. That's what they have time for, especially also because they also have time, they're able to change the curriculum to how employers want, how graduate programs want, and so employers and graduate schools really love students from Millersville because they're being taught the up-to-date information, they're being taught the right information, and that's helping our students really succeed after college. Some recent internships that we'll talk about. There's plenty of different opportunities. Typically for a student, they might get an email 1, 2 times a week, especially junior year, about different internship opportunities that they can have. For instance, we have students right now at top financial companies like Morgan Stanley. I have friends that are at JP Morgan, just the top financial companies in the world, really. DuPont, NBC Olympics. We had a student that was a broadcasting major that got to do their broadcasting internship at the Winter Olympics in Sochi, which was a really cool experience. We have students at Disney, Sony, as I mentioned before, NASA, Army Corps of Engineers. There's plenty of different opportunities. No matter what major you choose that you're interested in, your professors can help you find the information to get you, the internship that you want. They're going to help and sit down with you and really talk to you about, why this internship is better than another internship, and helping our students really pick that great career path that they're looking for. So we have I think it's really important to get involved. I think Samantha would agree about getting involved. It's a really important thing. It's going to help you tremendously as far as making friends goes and things like that, and have a great time at the university. So we have over 130 clubs and organizations that you can join from. There's honor societies, multicultural groups, religious organizations. There's art, theater, and musical groups that have performances. You don't have to be a music or theater major to be part of those, and it's a really great experience for students. Those are events that theater and music usually have events on the weekends. Students go to them all the time in our great venues that we have on campus. Student media, there's newspaper, TV, radio broadcasting. Millersville has awesome facilities on campus. We have a $3.1 million broadcasting facility. Our performing and theater arts facility, which is over $10 million building, has the best best piano lab in the country. We have a great recording studio, one of the best in the country. There's all kinds of different facilities that our students are taking advantage of. And with almost every major that we have some type of organization dedicated to the major. So when you're in this organization dedicated to your major, starting the first day of class, you'll be able to, within your organization, work on equipment, work within the facilities, and really work on this equipment. So you get a lot of experience within your major outside the classroom, which is helping our students tremendously do well in their classes and really get the professional experience that they really want. Greek life, there's 19 sororities and fraternities, as well as there's 19 Division II athletic teams. We have a lot of our top teams. Our field hockey team just won the national championship. We have very good teams here at Millersville. We have over 30 clubs and intramural sports. Intramural sports is just for students that they don't want to do the Division II, but they want to play their sports, like whether it's we have tons of sports, about 30 different ones, but they are able to play people here at Millersville. It's a really big thing here at Millersville because you just make so many friends throughout your time at Millersville. It was my favorite thing about Millersville is the fact that you just keep making friends every year. Starting with our orientation process, it's a great time for students to meet everyone else in the class, and you'll meet hundreds of students through that process. On top of that, when you join your clubs and organizations, you keep meeting the new people that come to Millersville every year. And we have one of the highest retention rates in the country, meaning that students that choose Millersville actually stay here for their following year at a higher rate than most other universities. And it starts with, one, it's our learning environment. It's a perfect learning environment for students to succeed in, but also the fact that our clubs, organization, the way our campus is structured, you meet so many people, and the people here are so friendly, and you pretty much don't want to leave. I know I haven't left, and neither have you, so it's a really great environment for the students, and it's something that every Millersville student really loves about the campus. Housing and residential life. So we've actually spent a lot of money in the last couple of years trying to develop this brand new housing. And so our housing facilities are now one of the best in the country. It's a $180 million project, and you can see the image on there. This bottom portion that you see, that's called phase one of the image, and that is complete. That has upperclassmen as well as freshmen in there. Phase two is the right portion, and the top right portion that you see there. That's going to be complete by August of 2014. And so students are able to live in those. And across from that, the top left portion, that will be complete the following year. It's a very quick project. They're suite style residence halls, which pretty much means that you have your own bathroom in there. But the facilities are tremendous. They have quiet rooms that you can study in within your own residence halls. They have even classrooms. There's all kinds of cool facilities within your residence hall. It's something that we're really proud of at Millersville. They include things like cable, internet, Wi-Fi internet. You'll have your, electricity, water, all that stuff. There's even kitchens in there, so if you want to cook food in your residence hall, you'll be able to. They're very safe, very secure. You use your student ID to enter the building, and only you can enter it if you live in there. So it's really safe environment, and our students are really loving the brand new residence halls, especially how new they are, and all the fact that they have their own bathroom. That's really a really nice facility to have students in.
Okay, well, now I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the international admissions process to give you some more information about what you need in order to apply to Millersville University. So first off, we do have a specific page on our website dedicated to international admissions, which is very helpful and includes all of the information that I'm going to be covering with you in just a few moments. But first off, we do have an international student application on the website which you can fill out, and we are working on making that an electronic application. So soon it will be electronic, but right now we have it's a PDF version that you can fill out. Also require a copy of your passport. Also, we require a copy of your permanent residency card, or your, if you have one, a permanent residency card, or your visa. So we pretty much ask for those two things so that we can clarify your residency status or your immigration status. A lot of times students, though, obviously don't have any type of immigration paperwork because it is dependent on their admission to a university. So if you give us a copy of your passport, then we move forward and we look to see if you meet our academic admissions requirements that we will talk to you about, and then we help you get an I-20, which you take to go apply for your F1, which is your student visa. So moving along, you would also need a certified copy of your secondary transcript, and if your transcript would not be in English, then we ask that you get it, that you also attach a certified English translation to an official copy of that translated into English. So we also do have some different testing requirements for non-native speakers of English. We require that you take, it's your choice, we accept scores from one of several exams. The first one, obviously, which is very well known, is the TOEFL. So we ask that students have a 550, a minimum of 550 on the paper-based exam, as you can see, a 213 on the computer-based TOEFL, or a 79 on the internet-based TOEFL. Also, we accept the IELTS, and a minimum score of 6 is required for the IELTS. For native speakers of English, we do ask, again, your option, that you take the SAT-1 or the ACT, and also this is all across the board for native or non-native speakers of English, but we do know that there are often certified national exam requirements in order to receive your diploma or your high school kind of equivalent degree in your country. So we do ask that if that is something that you do take in order to get that degree, that you also submit that, and we will also review that as well. So, moving along to outside of some of the academic requirements, in order to show that for us to the federal government that you are able to kind of support yourself and also meet the education requirements of our university, we ask that students fill out a sources of funds form. And as you can see there, we ask that students show about $29,000 for each academic year. And I'll talk to you a little bit more about how we came up with that number. Also, we ask that students fill out an educational background form. Most of the things that you will have already handed in, the transcript and also your exam scores, will pretty much explain the things on the educational background form, but this is just something that outlines each category and what you have submitted. We also do have a page for international transfer students. So in the case that you have already started your university or college equivalent education in your home country, then we do ask that the original language transcripts are sent over, accompanied by the certified English translation. And on our website, we give you a few agencies. I can tell you they are WES and ACRO that will interpret your transcript for us so that we can look and see how those credits will transfer to our university. Also, they are the ones that will look at your high school transcripts and give us a list of courses and how they would be interpreted in our high school system. So just on average, this is our admitted student profile as freshmen have between a 1470 and a 1660 on the SAT, and this just includes the critical reading and the math portion. For the, and the writing. So, I'm sorry, yes, it does include, that's a mistake on your slide, so that would be a very high score to have. So, I do apologize, it actually does include the writing. So, each of those categories are worth 800 points. Also, some students prefer to take the ACT. They feel as though they do better on that format because it is different. So we also leave that option open to our international students. And that range is between a 19 and a 24. So going back to what we had talked about in terms of the sources of funds form, this will also give you a breakdown of why we ask for that proof of $29,000 per academic year. Our cost is about $19,000, and then our room and board is about $10,000. So we have come up with a total of $29,000 that a student would need to support themselves and their education each year while they attend our university. We are actually listed by affordablecolleges.com as the #1 public university in Pennsylvania for lifetime return on the investment. So for what you pay and the value of the education that you get at Millersville University, which Vivek really outlined very well, students are very happy with the kinds of careers and professional paths that they are able to pursue with their degree from Millersville University. Also, U.S. News and World Report has listed us as one of the top 100 public universities in the U.S. So we have gotten several other awards, but we feel that these two specific awards really reflect the kind of value that you get from a degree at Millersville University. So as a public university, we do try and offer students an affordable tuition rate as well as an affordable room and board rate. So we are very competitive in our prices. Well, we really, really, really want to thank you for joining us today, or if you weren't able to join us at this moment and you see us on demand on College Week Live, then we hope that you get a lot out of it. And if you have any questions, you can be sure to get the response if you contact our admissions office at 1-800-MU-ADMIT. You can also email us at admissions@millersville.edu. And we would just briefly, as alumni, like to share why we attended Millersville University. So I'm actually going to ask my colleague here, Vivek, why he attended.
I pretty much attended because, one, it was a really great value for the education. When I came here on campus, I loved the campus, but I also got to meet one of the professors, and he really, informed me about, as far as the quality of education, as far as what their professors do for their students, and how that's different from most other colleges, and it really is. I mean, most Millersville students would tell you that we're very fortunate for having the professors that we have here on campus that really care about teaching the students. And when I came here on campus, I didn't really know anyone, but within that first day of orientation, I met 300 students at least. By the time orientation was over, I met at least 500, 600 other students. I literally had hundreds of friends the first day of class. And then from then on, throughout your class sizes, you meet more students, and then clubs and organizations. And every year, you kept meeting more people. And I mean, it was the best decision I ever made, and it was a fantastic 4 years at Millersville. It really was. I mean, I had a great education, and then I had lifelong friends that kept coming. There were so many more friends that you get at Millersville, and that's the environment that you create. And so I'm glad I chose Millersville because of that. So, yes.
Well, I actually moved to Pennsylvania from a state which was all the way across the country. So when I showed up to Millersville University, it was my first experience not only at a university as a student, but also my first experience in the state of Pennsylvania. So I was very, very surprised at how friendly everybody was, the students, as well as the professors and the administration here. I really was excited about the level of discussion in the classes that I took, because we had about 25 to 30 students, as Vivek mentioned, and so we were able to develop those relationships with our professors, as well as really have engaging classroom time. So also, I think that the location of Millersville University was something that really made my experience so much more than, really made Millersville University a good fit for me. I really liked how the university has almost kind of a park-like campus. It's very beautiful, but the facilities are very, very advanced. So it's a great place to study and focus, and there's so many organizations and clubs on campus, so there's so much to do on campus. But I could also just jump on an Amtrak or drive, if I wanted to several different of our top metropolitan centers in the U.S. So I really enjoyed my time in Philly, Philadelphia, and Baltimore, Washington, D.C. So for me, I had a really well-rounded experience traveling to different places in the region and interacting with the students, the faculty, the staff, and really getting that education that I wanted out of my university experience. Um, so those are our experiences. We hope that if you have any questions about Millersville, again, that you contact us with the information that we have given you. And best of luck to you in your educational endeavors.